Well, not all Republicans were on board with the slimmed down bill that passed. 34 of them voted against the stopgap measure. Our next guest is one of them, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. He sits on the House Oversight, Foreign Affairs, and Transportation Committees. So, Congressman, you were a nay vote. Why?
It's just another continued resolution. We just continued the bad spending policies, COVID-level spending policies. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. This bill, we told America we were going to have separate spending bills for different bills, individual spending bills like we do in Tennessee, where we balance the budget. There was $5.7 billion in there for subs. There was $100 million for the Coast Guard. You know, last week we just passed the NDAA with $9 billion new dollars in there that we don't have. So, you know, this thing was not a clean CR, as we were told, and you know, there was $100 million in there for disaster relief, which these areas need the disaster relief. But President Biden was quick to send $1 billion down to Ecuador and another $1 billion over to Ukraine without congressional input. And where did they come up with the number $100 billion? It always strikes me as odd that they get these even numbers, $100 billion. We don't trust the Biden administration with a nickel of our tax dollars, but we're going to give him $100 billion to play with in the next 30 days. And you know as well as I do, some of that FEMA money went to illegals coming over the border. And the people in North Carolina and Upper East Tennessee and Georgia, and heck, even Hawaii, I mean, the people up here in upper North Carolina, they're living, some of those people are still living in tents. They don't even have electricity or water. And you know what, in Hawaii, we just about forgotten about that, and Palestine, where they had the derailment.
Yeah,
what's going on with that?
Yeah.
So I just feel like we were in a rush to get out for Christmas. I understand that. You know, my father missed 4 Christmases when he fought in the Second World War, and he didn't complain about it. And he sure wasn't making $174,000 a year, brother.
The man you just mentioned, President Biden, is in office for less than a month, will be in office for less than a month. He has largely, disappeared from public view. The Wall Street Journal had a pretty bombshell article this week talking about how his mental decline was evident from the first days of his administration. Former CNN reporter Chris Cillizza talked about his take on that. Listen.
As a reporter, I have a confession to make. I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being and any signs of decline. The White House and the people around Joe Biden were absolutely adamant that suggesting anything, asking the question about whether he was in some physical, mental, or both decline was offensive. How could you? It's age shaming. And I think that impacted me at some level.
Give us your take on all of this, Congressman.
The national media needs to get some guts and get out of bed with the far left. They got their hat handed to them in this last election, and they should have, because, look, they endorsed Biden against Donald J. Trump, the much more qualified candidate. They crammed him down our throats. They would make fun of everything that Trump did when he filled up mega stadiums, and Joe Biden couldn't fill up a parking lot at the Baptist church. So, they were in bed with this bunch. They own him, and this is the biggest cover-up in political history in this country. And that is why you're seeing the so-called mainstream, the legacy media. That's why they're going out of business. It's just going to be you and a few others in the internet and X, and that's going to be it. And they deserve it. They deserve it because they brought it on themselves. They endorse this guy because they hate Donald J. Trump so much, and they hate this country and the things that we stand for.
Very quickly, President Trump takes office again in about a month. What would you like to see his first priority be?
I think the border, first of all, but we're going to have to get this spending under control. 36 trillion in debt. Doge is talking about knocking a couple of trillion out. Well, we run $1 trillion in debt every 100 days. brother, and we cannot afford that anymore. We got to get this dadgum country back in order, and the way to do that is get us back on fiscally sound ground. And what we're seeing right now out of either party is not in that direction. So I hope we have a rude awakening. America spoke, and we need to start listening.
Yeah, let's see if they do. Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.